This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's got rid of the outside of both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God! Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
It's very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go.
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
Are you new to sim racing, or maybe a veteran struggling to reach the next level? Have you ever wondered how the aliens reach impressive lap times that seem impossible to achieve? If so, you're not alone. Most drivers reach a certain level and get stuck. But getting faster on track is easier than you think. VRS coaches are some of the best sim racers in the world and offer one-on-one driver skills training at affordable rates to help new drivers learn the basics and help experienced drivers break through to the next level. Are you ready to get faster and get off the iRacing roller coaster? If so, VRS one-on-one personal training is for you. If you've invested in your equipment, it might be time to invest in yourself. Just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a 30, 60 or 90-minute session with one of our world-class coaches, and you'll learn exactly what to do for faster lap times and more podiums.
Welcome to Suzuka for round number 10 of the iRacing Grand Prix Series here on SimSpeed TV. Slightly delayed start, but we are good to go, and we welcome you to sunny Japan for this race. My name is Jay Kennedy. In the main seat today, Jake Sperry having a night off, so I've stepped into the main seat. Scott Fountain alongside me, Fonty. We're going to have some great racing tonight. A very, very stacked field, but no Matteo Ugolotti, so a good chance for some other drivers to get some big points without him here this week.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Saturday night with SimSpeed TV. It's going to be some fantastic racing, and it's been a little while since I've called the shots with my old buddy Jay Kennedy. I can't remember the last time me and you commentated together, so yeah, what a better way to do it than a Saturday night at Suzuka.
100%. You just see there Matt Wood crossing the line for the end of his run. Two drivers still out there on track in qualifying at the moment. Matt Wood is the pace setter. Marco Nomola in P number 2. Diego Oliveira in P3. This year Ben Horrell yet to post the lap time. Out of our 22 drivers we have for today's race, going to cross the line with only one attempt. Actually, no, he's got one more. He slots into P13 on his first run. 29.8 for his first run. Nurmala crosses the line on his second lap. Doesn't improve, so sits there in P2 for now. Over to Foley, just going out to start another lap. Ray Griffey-Owen crossing the line to complete his second lap. Doesn't improve. Ben Hall is probably the main one, along with Adam Webb, who hasn't set a lap time. They're the two main guys that could really capitalise at the moment, along with Hamashane, who could really capitalise on no Matteo Ugolotti today.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Matteo, he was, well, he has been the class field all season long. Maybe he's been able to get drivers out there tonight, actually, which, yeah, it's some fantastic racing. Certainly a track that I love to go and drive at. Played plenty of PlayStation back in the day around this place. And, yeah, it's a great Formula 1 circuit.
100%, very, very fun circuit to drive in sim. Cedric Field, and that completes his second lap. First first lap of a 29.5. He can get an improvement, and he does, so he will gain 2 spots up to P4.
Yeah,
Great lap for him.
not bad at all. He's got to be happy with that. Normally he's kind of just hovering inside that top 10 mark. So Cedric, fantastic lap there on P4. Kent Nielsen, he's kind of normally around about that P12 mark. So yeah, it'd be a good battle between himself and Griffioen, I'm sure.
Pat Kelly's just crossed the line to complete his second lap, puts in P19. Faber Toffoli here will not get this lap in as an official lap time. So we are done for qualifying. And without Matteo Ugolotti a mile in front of everyone else, got a very, very classy field nonetheless, with Matt Wood taking pole position 28.8, ahead of Marco Nurmela in position number 2. P3 will go to Diogo Oliveira with Cedric Beale alongside. Yuki Shirakawa.
Better than me, mate.
Shirakawa, I got it in the end. Start from P5 with Jorge Martinez in P number 6. P7, Liam Buckley with Magnus Volstrom in P8. P9, Thomas Knoll with Kleber Toffoli in 10th. Darren Parker and Kent Nielsen 11th and 12th. 13th goes to Ray Griffioen with Ben Horrell alongside him on the 7th row. Mitchell Welker and Klaus Siemetz on row 8. Steve Giori and Tamas Shane in the 9th row. 17th and 18th. Rounding out the top 20, John Pat Kelly and Christoph Montz with Ronaldo Augusto and Adam Webb. Webb, big surprise to see him so far back. But the cool thing is, the whole field separated by less than 2 seconds. That's a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, it is a really cool thing, and yeah, you're exactly right. Adam's normally kind of up towards the front, so plenty of opportunities for him to capitalise around this track. Lots of passing opportunities, and yeah, some really, really cool corners, especially after the first 2. I love that left right section of the track, and some really on edge corners, which create some great racing.
And a couple of drivers left to get onto the grid. As we said, 35 laps ahead for these drivers, and a very, very stacked field. Going to be very, very interesting racing around here in this one, though, because track conditions fairly warm for these drivers. We have everyone on the grid now. Here we go.
Exactly right, yeah, warm conditions, so tyres are certainly not going to be liking that. So it'll be interesting to see what strategy he's going to go with. What he will always pretty good. Expected to be faster there. Cedric there, he can be a little bit off and get the strategy wrong, but let's hope tonight he does.
Big incident at the start of the race. Kent Nielsen, Ray Griffioen with Christoph Moritz all around turn 1. About to say we've got through cleanly, and the second I called out so secondary hit there. We'll focus there on Ray Griffioen, Kent Nielsen in the wall, Christoph Moritz. That was Ben Horrell involved in that one as well.
For those guys, he's always one to stay out of trouble. Not make him happy at all. He is right up there.
On board with Shirakawa. 130R, awesome corner 130R, just behind Darren Parker and Dahlstrom, having a very, very cool little battle side by side with the exit of 130R, and lap 1 is complete. We've lost 2 drivers from the start. We've got a few drivers that are a little bit of walking wounded, but yet talking strategy, as we were saying before, probably going to be soft again. I mean, track temps warm, but it's not hot. if that makes sense. It's around 30 degrees Celsius. It's enough to trouble the drivers, but not enough to make them absolutely hate what's going on, as Martinez makes a very, very nice move to get himself up into P9. Thomas Knoll under attack now from Mitchell Velker.
A fantastic move there. Some nice side-by-side action. I have to say that this track, there's not really a corner that you can say that you don't really like. They all flow so well. And, you know, just there's so many passing opportunities, especially as we come up into here, into this tight hairpin. This is the slowest part of the track. And getting a good exit off this turn is pretty important before you come down that big long straight.
I'm on board with Magnus Wallström. He's tucked in behind the number 19 of Darren Parker. Run down back straight, over the bridge, and run up to probably the coolest corner on the track, 130R. Of course, named 130R because it's a 130-degree radius.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to get it right. I haven't really done too many laps around here in a single seater, skip battle, but yeah, certainly a GT car, it's pretty on edge.
It's a sort of corner that you feel like you've never got it perfect. You could always do something more to get it right, or more right, isn't it? It's a corner that's not quite 100% perfect, is it? You feel like you might not quite have the corner nailed every single time.
Yeah, to get that nailed every single time, you'd really have to be one of the racing gods to be able to do that. But you're exactly right. You think you're gonna, hit it perfectly, and then you can very, very easily find yourself running off track and using that runoff area.
Darren Parker with a great start. He's up 4 spots already into P7, but he's very, very susceptible right now. Wallström. And then you see Martinez not far behind as well, and his driver up through the field. Of course, he started in 6th, back in the 9th at the moment. Was back in 10th, but has gained that spot on Thomas Knoll.
Yeah,
Wallström
fantastic.
very, very close.
Yeah, fantastic drive from him so far in this race. Cedric Bell's doing a fantastic job there to hold on to 4th, only a second line Oliveira. So yeah, I've been impressed with his efforts so far in this race. Let's hope he can hold it all together and stay out of trouble.
Of course, we've got around Jirakawa from P5, so he's losing ground and all the way back now to 17th, 18th position as he rejoins. We'll see if we can pick up what's happened on the VRS replay. I was about to say, don't forget now, DRS available for these drivers, so we're going to see a lot more overtaking with how close this field is. The gap for P1, P2, just a little bit too much curb there for Jirakawa. The gap for P1, P2 is close enough that Nurmela will get DRS. So Nurmela, while he's sitting a little way back and they're lapping pretty consistent and identical lap times, the fact now that we're going to see DRS is a big, big help in Nurmela's fight to try and stick with Matt Wood and maybe undercut at the pit stops.
You're exactly right. These two are certainly racing friends on the track, and they have some pretty close battles week in, week out. So yeah, I expect it to certainly be a pit stop strategy race where that could certainly take control and ultimately give us our end result.
It normally can quite intently just sit there and save a little bit of fuel and try and undercut, save the tyres, and maybe able to push for that 1 lap extra either on these older tyres as the fuel goes down, or that first out lap to try and get the spot that way. But this battle well and truly on. You can see the DRS open here for Wallström, and that's just going to be an easy move into turn 1. The Wallström now into P6. Jorge Martinez now trying to get the spot on Darren Parker to get himself up into position number 7. Of course, another spot gained from what we were talking about earlier with Jirakawa having his spin. Now back in 18th position. Ben Horrell's driven into the pit lane. I'm going to suggest he'll come in due to damage from lap 1 and maybe get some hard tyres now and push them for 30 laps. Fairly long lap as here we are talking about Nurmela. Nurmela's around and he's dropped back to 10th position.
I wonder what's happened there. It's probably he's probably outbroken himself. I reckon. Such a tough corner to get right. It is such a famous entry into there. And then you can just, if you drop that left rear wheel, okay, so there we go. So he's,
We'll hit the wall too.
Front end's gone on him, and he's touched the wall. So it doesn't probably would have got too much damage, but certainly in one of these things, you just touched the wall, and it's $100 grand. So he'll be making a trip through the pits, that's for sure.
At least in this, you don't have to pay for it out of your own money, thankfully.
Well, that's right. That's right. Yes, you're exactly right.
We're on board with Jorge Martinez. Currently 7th now, so he's made a few spots just from keeping it on the track. Fastest car on the track was Mirko Nurmela, but this lap by Matt Wood has been able to put in the fastest lap of the race. Interesting too, Wallström very, very quick on that lap too. He actually purpled a couple of sectors after getting that move done on Darren Parker into turn 1. So he is not a slouch at the moment. He is slowly going to catch up to Liam Buckley, who's currently in 4th. Cedric Beale now sitting in a podium position. Interesting too, Ben Horrell back out on track, but he's gone for another set of softs. So he's going to pit at least once more. You can't make this race 30 laps on a set of softs. Almost impossible.
Yeah, almost impossible. I'm sure we have seen people try and do it, but they fall off the pace pretty quickly. Yeah, Cedric Beale, he's got fantastic pace at the moment. 5.2 seconds back behind Wood, our race leader, and just 2 seconds, well, not even 2 seconds, separating himself and Oliveira. Buckley's not a name we see too often, really, on a Saturday night. Certainly Wallström is a regular to the series, so good to see his pace is fast at this stage.
Martinez trying to make a move out of 130R, but not quite close enough. You'll get the DRS activation point just here, and now we'll be able to try and get this move done down the front straight. Get the DRS open.
Yeah, I don't think he's close enough.
It's going to send it though.
It's wrong. There we go. It's done.
So back up into where he started, into 6th. Taking him a few laps, but he's got that. The Foley also just got through on Gaori. Same move, using the DRS to help him. What this has done with that mistake for Nurmela, Matt Wood now been able to check out. Now got a 4.5 second advantage over Oliveira in P2. Right there, and he's got Beale and Buckley, as you said before, not that far behind, around about 1.5 seconds back to Beale. Buckley's only 3/4 of a second back as well. So the fight for the podium spots, well and truly on. I mean, Matt Wood, it's his race to lose at this point, but it's still very, very open, and we saw how easy a mistake can happen. This circuit being so technical does lead itself to mistakes being made, and the opportunity of mistakes being made is quite high.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and with such fast flying corners, and as the grip level changes throughout the race, the rubber goes down on the track and you start to lose grip out of the tyre. It can really be unpredictable, especially in one of these cars as well. So we have seen mistakes made from Wood in the past where he has been leading, and we've seen that leads fade away very quickly, but his pace is good, and he's certainly within that top 3 of our best rated drivers that we see on a Saturday night series, and Oliveira is no slouch as well. So great to see himself and Beale, Buckley right up there fighting amongst it. I think Martinez could potentially get back to a podium if the stops work out in his favour.
Yeah, I agree. I think Martinez, we know he's got great pace, so we'll hopefully see him move forward. Thomas Knoll here on screen. Our focus at the moment, currently P8. Started in 9th, up into 8th. working his way forward. Got great pace just in the background. Mirko Nurmela absolutely centered on Mitchell Velka and just feeds him a little bit wide on the exit of the hairpin. Made real contact into the wall goes Velka. Continues on though. It looks like he might have got away with that unscathed. But Nurmela, that would have been a very touchy moment there for Nurmela.
That's pretty committed there, really. And you know, it was really, he took too much speed into that corner. You know, probably if race stewards were alive looking at that, there would be potential of a penalty for him. But still a good move there, and making his way through the field.
I don't know if Velka would have said it was a good move, but he continues on. That's the positive. He's kept it going. Interesting too, Tamesh Sane, of course, see him as a regular in the IRO1 series as well. Picked up the win this week in dominant fashion yesterday at Silverstone. Currently in 12th. He qualified way back in 18th position, up into 12th already, and he's holding off Adam Webb, who started at the back of the field, up 9 spots, and Velka, who we just saw involved in that incident. They're in their own little battle pack as well. And the other battle pack that we've been focusing on is behind Darren Parker with Noel and now Nurmela right there as well. So we've got a few little battle packs starting to form. Beale and Buckley together, 3/4 of a second, just under a second between Martinez and Volstrom. Parker, Noel, Nurmela here. Then you've got Toffoli and Giori not too far apart. Zane, Webb and Velka all very close. So just see Giori running off the circuit. He's given up a couple of spots.
So easy to do in that
Velka.
spot.
Yeah, Spoon's a tough corner, isn't it? Double apex.
It's a very tough corner. Very tough corner. You can think that you've got it absolutely nailed in that initial turn in, and then you run out of road very quickly. It's much like our 130R, where it just kind of, you know, you think you've got it perfect, but then you can find yourself out in the weeds just in the snap of a finger.
I think the big thing with Spoon, that corner that we saw Giori off the circuit, is that you feel like you've got it nailed and the apex just closes up suddenly, if that makes sense. The corner just changes shape so bizarrely, and of course double apex, in some cars triple apex corner, you find yourself running out of road very quickly, as you said. So nailing that corner nowhere near as easy as you would have expected. Martinez and Velstrom still going at it, and Velstrom was alongside there for a second there, but couldn't quite get the move done. But Nurmela trying to get his way back through the field, very tight.
Yeah, just touching on your point there, Jake. Yeah, this track has the characteristics that a lot of the corners do tighten up on themselves. You know, that rather than being open and flowing, they kind of get tighter and tighter, and then, you know, just really are quite so these drivers that can look after those fronts and look after the front softs, then they're going to be in a good position coming into the race.
That was a very nice move from Marco Nurmela. Get that now into position number 8 on his recovery drive. Through on Thomas Noel. In the background, we're seeing our first pit stop. Over to Foley in the pits, also in. Mitchell Velka. So those guys hitting early. I'm wondering if they're going to take medium tyres from this point. It is fairly early in the race, and not even a third of the way through. We don't normally see pit stops at this point unless you're going to do 2 stops. And mediums. There we go. They're going to try and bring it home on medium tyres.
There we go. That's a pretty big call. Especially with how tough this track is on those front tyres. So I'm sure those drivers are. Oh, there we go. And that's Nurmela. He's had a bit of a taste of his own medicine there. And yes, we're just going to cash out on the Virtual Racing School replay. Big thanks to Virtual Racing School for all the support they do for iRacing in general, and certainly for us at some speed. We're going to watch this replay.
This is just him trying to get this move done too quickly. Just outbrakes himself, loops the car around, and Volstrom, I should say, had nowhere to go but to make contact. I don't think he would have even known that the move was coming.
Oh, well, these things move so quickly that, yeah, I would think I've never really done too many laps on them. But yeah, you're kind of, you're looking forward to try and see where you're going, because they're so fast that he would have not even known that he was going for the move.
Volstrom's brought it into the pits probably to just check and make sure he hasn't got too much damage. Gaori and Chikawa in the pits as well. You see Volstrom on the mediums, yep. Gaori, he'll come in and get mediums as well. He does. And also in Chikawa, who we saw have that issue early on, he comes back down with mediums as well. Go back up towards the front a little bit more. Cedric Beale and Liam Buckley. The gap has stayed pretty much at that half second to 3/4 of a second ever since we last talked about them.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic driving, and these guys are right on their game, aren't they?
They're so evenly matched, aren't they?
They are so evenly matched. Yep, they are. They're they race against each other week in, week out. They know each other on the track, so yeah, great to see such an awesome battle. And Buckley's certainly in a pretty good position here. He can kind of just use that draft, save those tyres, and potentially get him in the pit stop.
I think saving the tyres is the key, because of course saving fuel doesn't really mean a huge amount in these races because of the no refueling in the pit stop, which of course in real life in these cars was the point where there was no refueling. Of course the Williams had refueling, but the McLaren does not. Refueling was gone from Formula 1 at that point to make it a little bit safer for the drivers and the pit crews at pit stops. Marquez comes in and takes his medium compound tyres, around 3.5 second pit stop for him.
Yeah, well, I don't think that in 3.5 seconds, these guys are in the real life stuff. Yeah, the stops are so fast now. I remember when I was growing up, 6-7 seconds.
Yeah, 7 second stop. I remember when it got under 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it was a miracle, and now you're hearing teams doing 2 seconds or just under. It's incredible.
I know, that's
that
crazy. It's crazy to think that that's the technology and the world that we live in motorsport now. And yeah, I'm sure that if you'd have said to any one of those famous race car drivers back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, that they'll be doing 2 second pit stops now, they would have laughed at you. But, yeah, still some pretty great racing going on here tonight. I'm super impressed with Beale's pace at the stage in the race, lap 14. So nearly at the halfway point.
Notice something just there. You may have just seen it. DRS open for Cedric Beale because he is close enough to Diogo Oliveira. Oliveira's pace has dropped off over the last little bit, and now Beale is within striking distance of Diogo Oliveira and P2. This has been a great drive for Cedric Beale.
It has. I can't. Yeah. He drives here week in, week out, and we see some great performance from him on stages. And this is certainly one of those drives that he's looking after the tyres well. He's driving. He hasn't put a foot wrong at this stage, and I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him. But he's certainly putting the pressure on Oliveira at this stage, and it would be great to see him come home on the podium today.
Velko just got through on Clover Toffoli down the front straight. Classic Suzuka move. DRS help down the front straight, move into turn 1. Get it under braking in the run between turns 1 and 2. Velko's recovery after that contact with Marco Nurmela continues, but Beale probably close enough if you can maintain this gap. A little mistake there for Oliveira. DRS activation point right now. He's still going to get DRS.
Oh, there we go.
Even with those two pitting behind him, Oliveira and Buckley come in, but Beale still gets DRS even though there's no car in front of him.
That's the movement. It's worked out really good for him. Probably good chance that Beale's going to come in next lap though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oliveira, he could just feel the pressure and what's he going to do for his time strategy? He's probably going to go for a medium, I'm guessing.
I'm guessing that as well. And if you're at this point now, you're going to go medium. No, soft.
Oh,
Oliveira,
there we go. So he's going to
Buckley.
stop again.
Well, you might be able to get 21 laps is his target. It's a fairly long way. It's going to be a big push, but if he's been looking after the tyres, he might be able to do it. So it'll be interesting to see. That's going to be one to watch. Of course, we'll work it out when we get towards the end. But Oliveira and Buckley pitted at the same time. Different tyre compound. We'll see Oliveira absolutely blitz away over the next couple of laps, and that gap will slowly close in. Shout out to this guy at the moment and the driver ahead. This is John Pat Kelly. Started in 19th position, currently in 7th, and he will go as long as he can on these tyres. It's the way he seems to go every single race. And going back to this guy, Oliveira, we were just talking up, we need to keep an eye on where he comes out at the end. Well, we don't have to worry now, he's just put it in the wall.
There you go. So that's just giving it away to Cedric Beale. Yeah, Beale will be happy with that. We're going to see what's happened to Beale. He's just touched the grass, hasn't he?
Yeah, he hit the dirt on the outside and just hits the wall. A little bit of wing damage. We'll continue on.
It's tough morning, and you can literally get it right 99 times. And it's that 100th time that you managed to put yourself in that left-hand wall. Matt Wood done a stop.
Matt Wood, yep.
Beale in. No,
Beale's continued on, which I think if he knew that there was that issue for Oliveira, thank you. If he knew that there was that issue for Oliveira, he would have known, yep, I might as well continue on. So he's going to try and get it to halfway, I guess, and go softs as well.
Yeah.
Thomas Knoll back out on medium compound tyres. Of course, you can tell from the wall on the side of the car if you are new to this series. Just like in real life, red being soft, yellow being medium, white being hard. The hard tyre very, very, very rarely used in this.
Yeah, I've only seen it used once in my time.
Maybe twice,
Yeah, my time commentating on a Saturday night. So, I think the whole race was done by then. They actually didn't finish too bad. I can't remember who it was. As Wood just makes his way through there on Kelly.
Yeah. And of course, John Pat Kelly knows he's not in that fight, so no point putting up a battle. Speaking of battles, this is the battle of the recovery drives. You've got Ben Horrell in the pink number 15 car and Yokoa in the orange F1 car. Both have made their pit stops. Of course, Ben Horrell pitted very, very early to come in and get damage sorted. And he's continuing on. Ben Horrell will have to come back in again. Yeah, pit lane's lighting up again. Shane and Griffey Owen both in. Cedric Beale continuing on.
Yeah, wow, this is just proving how well he has looked after those timers. You could see the pace that he had on Oliveira before Oliveira came in for a stop. And we'll expect to see him in this lap. He's going to split it straight down the middle in 17 and 18 laps. Play it again, Charlie, I reckon. He'll just keep cutting those laps and hopefully doesn't make a mistake.
Adam Webb in for his stop. Of course, we saw having issues early on as well. His car, is that crabbing?
Not from my angle.
Have another look at that when he's going down the straight, but that car didn't look like it was straight.
Yeah, be like when you drove the car, Jay. Definitely wouldn't be straight. Probably wouldn't make
he's
it too
definitely
close to corner me.
Definitely right hand down. is Adam Webb. You can see it there.
Yep, you're exactly right. That will not be helping his pace. He did start from dead last, so I'm not too sure exactly what happened.
Cedric
There you
Beale
go,
in.
Cedric Beale in the lane.
There comes Buckley. So that's the driver that he was just ahead of, Liam Buckley, and he's got through. The Cedric Beale has lost a spot, but he's got the soft compound tyres. He's made it to the halfway point. And Buckley on the mediums has just been able to lap consistently at the moment. He has got out there ahead. Oliveira behind there, of course, with that little bit of damage from his hit in the wall. So Cedric Beale hasn't won out as much as we thought he may have, but of course he has pushed these tyres a little bit harder and made them last a little bit longer. These next few laps are very, very key. See if this strategy will work out for him.
Yep, you're exactly right, and he just doesn't, he can't get too stressed and overthink the situation. He is a very good, composed driver, so I'm sure he will get into the swing of things and find that sweet spot in the tyre, and certainly take advantage of using that soft tyre as we've got some more side-by-side action here.
It's Ronaldo Augusto, the only driver yet to make his pit stop, started on the medium compound tyre, and it's been passed by both Buckley and Beale. Had a little mistake through Degners. Now, through the Casio triangle, he'll come into the pits, I'm going to guess right now, get that front wing changed, some fresh boots and go again. We've got 17 laps to go. The gap at the front between Matt Wood and Liam Buckley at around about 9.5 seconds. So Matt Wood driving a very, very composed race at the moment. He's just got it in cruise control. He's not pushing too hard. Noticing his lap times are very consistent, but they're not the storming pace we may expect from other drivers that lead the race who keep on putting in fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap. He's just driving composed and keeping it nice and controlled and maintaining a rhythm and a pace that he's comfortable with. He's not trying to set world record lap times.
That's exactly right, Jay. He isn't trying to set world record lap times. He's just trying to cut those laps and count them down as he goes. He's in a flow, and why get out of the flow and try set world records when you're leading a race? And ultimately, although the championship hunt is pretty far away for the majority of the field, he's still right up there in the points.
Thomas Knoll just had a little incident at the hairpin. If we can pick up what exactly happened there, but he's lost a couple of spots to Tamashane, over to Foley. To Foley in that purple mobile just behind him. Try to let Foley through. He sort of balked to Foley a little bit there, and then just on the power a little bit too early through the apex of the corner, and
so easy to do there.
Car said no.
Yeah, that's such a tough corner to get right. Trying to get that power down because it is such a slow corner. It's such a rotation change. Trying to get off there is a bit of a mission, and especially in one of these cars.
This is the view back from Liam Buckley. Just last point on.
Say it, love that view.
Yeah, the heat haze out of the exhaust. You can see when he's on the power and when he's not, just by the heat haze. Matt Wood, the only driver to do a 1:31 lap time in the race. No other driver has been able to do that pace except for Nurmala while he was running. So those two were the class of the field, but of course only one of those two left, that being Matt Wood. But Buckley will be loving this at the moment. The reason being not that he's ahead, that's not the thing he's loving. It's that Cedric Beale on the soft tyre is having to push a lot harder than he would like to try and get a move done. He'd just be much, much happier to be out there and getting the move done and driving away and not having to use as much tyre to try and get a move done. Trying to get the move done is working those fronts quite aggressively.
Yep, that is right, Jay. It's Yeah, he's driving a fantastic race, and I'm pretty sure we will see him get past in the next few corners. But yeah, really wearing out those soft compound tyres coming the last 3-4 laps. We're going to be down to the wires,
Yep.
and through this part of the track here, it's so hard to pass, and you wear out the fronts trying to make a move through here. So he just needs to relax and set up a passing opportunity, maybe potentially into the hairpin, get it done, and seal it.
Yeah, I think it needs to be almost a surprise move into the hairpin. But it's also tough to get yourself close enough to be able to do it. He's tried to go that very, very low apex line there. It's not a line we normally see where you actually see drivers up on that apex curb there. So interesting move, but obviously didn't pay off. What this will do, as we were saying there, Cedric Beale, the tyres are going to be fine for the next 10 laps. That's not an issue. It's those final 5 laps that he's going to have trouble with, isn't it? It's then that he's going to find himself in all sorts of dramas.
Yeah, that's
nice
we
move.
see it week after week. Oh, here we go.
Got it.
And
Good
it's
move.
done. Well executed. Now he can put the pedal to the metal and try and pull a gap, because he's going to need a gap come that last 5 laps.
Shirakawa is race over. And wait till you see this one.
Oh,
Heavy hit in the wall. And that is race over. Front wing gone, rear wing gone. 3 wheels touching the ground, one knot. And he's decided to park it. So no surprise to see him park it after how big that hit was.
Yes, it was a big hit. And this track does really give some respect to the Kingbacks.
The thing that people forget about this circuit is how close the walls are to the edge of the track. There's not much runoff area other than through turn 1 and 2 and through Spoon, a little bit through 130R, but the rest of the track there's not really any runoff at all, is there?
There isn't any runoff at all. Turn 1 and 2 you can afford. If you do make a mistake there, you can get away with it, but through that left-right section after that, if you get it wrong, you can find yourself on the wall very, very easily. Oh,
That was committed there for Marquez as he tries to hunt down Diego Oliveira. And Oliveira brings it back into the pits for a second pit stop. He's decided that going those extra softs may not have been the smart move. Decided to bring it in with 13 laps to go. Get another set of softs on it now and be able to bring it home. Cedric Beale being able to break away. No surprise that he's got it out to a second, but as we said, it's not necessarily now. It's going to be with 5, 4, 3 laps to go when he has the trouble with these tyres.
Well, it'll be interesting. Marking is sitting on 4th now. I said earlier, can he make it to a podium? Well, it's 5 seconds to the car in front. So, fastest lap for him was his fastest lap of the race. And, 3.4 seconds. So, Buckley could be in trouble if Martinez keeps his pacing.
A little battle here between Ray Griffioen and John Kelly. These are 2 drivers that always seem to find themselves together, don't they? It's no surprise to see themselves battling, because they always seem to find each other one way or another at some point in the race. These 2 have a battle.
Yeah, they're not front runners, but they're consistent. They're consistent drivers and respectful drivers on track, and
they just find positions, don't they? They do. Push on and find positions and magically find themselves up towards the top half of the field. They don't start in the top half of the field, but they often will finish in the top half of the field just by keeping it clean and consistent.
Another one of those drivers is actually Kent Nielsen. I think it was not last week, the week before. He was, just stayed out of trouble, and we saw him nearly get onto the podium. Yep. So, not a great start for Nielsen today. He did have a reasonably good qualifying position, but yeah, taken out in turn 1 there, so just trying to collect those points. But yeah, these drivers who come in here week in, week out and drive to survive generally do all right at the end of the championship.
Griffon closing in on John Pat Kelly, so this battle heating up a little bit. But some other battles starting to heat up as well. Oliveira back out in 14th position after making his second stop. He's actually behind Griffon. So we'll catch him coming up on these guys in the next couple of laps, I'm fairly sure. Wood back to Beal, still at around 10 seconds. Beal's been able to pull 2 seconds on Liam Buckley. But that will close up. And also closing up is Darren Parker and Magnus Wallstrom as well.
Yep, there we go. Yeah, these last few laps are going to be tough for Cedric Beal or any of these guys on the soft compound tyre. And Beal was the last one to make his stop, pretty much anyway, certainly out of the front runners. So 2 seconds separating second and third at the moment. I think if he could pull it out to say 4 or 5, then he should be alright come the last 3 laps. But yes, certainly McInerney's his paces could break out amongst the pigeons as well.
We've done Griffon through on John Pat Kelly. And we've just seen fastest lap of the race. Diogo Oliveira set the fastest lap. First driver to do a 1 minute 30. Of course, he's just got back out there on the new fresh third set of soft compound tyres. Got a lot of work to do though to close up with the guys ahead. He's got 10 seconds to John Pat Kelly ahead, but the plus for him is clear track for the next few laps. You just push on and drive as he pleases.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Big fan. Fair track is, it is sometimes good, but it can also not put you under so much pressure.
And lull you into a false sense of security, can't it?
It can, yeah. And you can find yourself in trouble, especially not so much in sprint racing, but certainly in injured stuff. Half a second a lap, really does start to add on. Yeah, fantastic racing across the field tonight, and let's wait and see what happens with this Beal battle.
Yep, 2.5 seconds at the moment as Tamashane runs a little bit wide through turn 2, and that allows Thomas Knoll the easiest pass he will make in the whole season. Just holds the racing line and gains a spot over a driver who is evenly matched for pace with. So Thomas Knoll will be quite happy about that one. Tamashane will be disappointed. He drops back to 9th position. Still up 9 spots though, is Tamashane.
I think there wouldn't be many races, Jay, that particular pass didn't happen.
Oh, for sure.
Pretty much every race that I've ever done on iRacing around here, there's always one who throws it off at turn 1 or turn 2, and a pass is done. And if you just get it right, all you need to do is get the line right, and you've got the move finalised.
I'm the sort of driver though that would see someone run off, get too excited about making the pass and make a mistake myself.
You put your foot down and you put it in the wall.
Put them in the wall and myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray Griffey.
At least you're honest, mate.
Hey, I know my talent. None. Ray Griffey pulling away from John Pat Kelly. He's already pulled a second and a half. He's closing in on Steve Gaori, who's had his own little issues. So the gap is visibly not much right now. We're on board here with Griffon. We'll see the DRS open in just a second. It comes right now. There it is.
It's such a cool, but it's such a cool invention with the DRS and how it changed Formula One racing and just made that technology even better. And great to see it still being used now, that it hasn't been phased out or something replaced it.
And that was a very, very good committed pass there for Griffio, just was able to hold the outside through turn 1, turn 2, and then got it through the first of the S's, did Griffio. So he's now up into 11th position, +2 from where he started. Biggest mover in the field is Tamashane, +9. Other big movers, Darren Parker in position 5. He is up 6 spots. He's our biggest mover inside the top 5 or 6 drivers. So he's done a very, very good job as well. Car number 19, so he'll be getting a nice I rating gain out of this one as well. So we're quite happy with how this race is going.
Certainly will be. Managed to just avoid that incident. Which involved Kent Nelson. He's still on P12, so he gained quite heavily out of that one. Looking at our race leader though, we haven't really showed much of a race because he's too fast out in front.
We say it all the time, don't we? If you get no TV time when you're the leader, it means you've had a good race lead. And this is the sort of lead that anyone would love to have in these tough races around a tough circuit. Suzuka circuit is not the easiest circuit. And Matt Wood out to 10.7 second advantage right now. There's the gap between he and Cedric Beale. Full hairpin. Full hairpin section is the lead at the moment. Cedric Beale back to Buckley is now 3.6 seconds. I still don't think it's enough.
I don't. Yeah, I think Beale's still definitely got the pace in him to be able to hold on to that second spot, promoting him to make a mistake.
How much tyre did he use though at the start of the race? That's the other key. If you use too much tyre in the start in phases when he was trying to get past Buckley, he might find himself in trouble maybe with 2 to go, but he did hold on to those tyres very well in that first stint, but he didn't push them anywhere near as hard as he did in those first few laps of this stint.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see. Now 7 laps to go, so I reckon Marquez could really mix things up here. He is only just slightly gaining. Last time I checked. He's always such a good driver. He's always there at the front. So what's that? That's exactly 3 seconds. 3 seconds separating our 3rd and 4th cars. Jay will be able to tell me when pit stop difference between those 2 cars.
Yeah, Marquez pitted 16 laps ago, Buckley 14 laps ago, so...
Okay.
Not really too much happening in regards to the lap times between Buckley and Marquez either. They're both pretty consistent. Last lap by 0.2 of a second slower was Buckley, but they've both been lapping in the 32.1s pretty consistently for the last few laps.
Yeah, very, very consistent. I don't think I could ever be consistent in one of these cars around. I don't think I could even do 2 corners, to be honest with you. But these guys are punching lap after lap. So, Oliveira on the hunt.
On the back of John Pat Kelly, who is on the back of Steve Gaori. Teammates together, and they'll be looking in the mirrors and going, oh no, he's coming. I'm sure they won't put up too much of a fight because they know that Oliveira on the freshest tyres in the field, the softest compound tyres in the field, the fastest car in the field at the moment.
And very aggressive as well.
Yep, they'll give him a lot of space.
Yep, they certainly will.
We start the 30th lap of the race. Matt Wood just set his fastest lap of the race on that lap there on the medium compound tyre, a 131.2. We said Oliveira has set the fastest lap of the race at 30.8, but tyre life has already started to go as John Pat Kelly threw on Steve Gaori into turn 1. Soft versus medium battle. Always going to end with the soft winning out that one at this stage, but Oliveira's pace has already gone out of the car. He's already a second off the lap time that he set earlier, the fastest lap of the race. So he could have already taken the life out of those soft compound tyres.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there, Jay. He's really pushed it on, and the track temperature is warm enough as it is, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what his next lap is, and then we can kind of see where he's at. But obviously, for those two cars in front, they're looking for championship points. And Kelly, he'll be wanting to stick in front of that car there.
Yep. The 12th, 13th, 14th at the moment, these guys are. Just ahead, Ray Griffith, his fight of, or his redemption drive. Coming back through the field. He's now on the back of Toffoli, who in 10th position. So this is the battle for top 10 spots. We've got 5 laps to go in this race. I'll tell you what, the 35 lap race, we've already done 30 of them. It has flown by.
Yeah, it has. It has. It always does seem to fly by. Yeah, these guys. Oh, here we go. Here's a move on.
Oliveira
Get it done pretty easily.
Yeah, Oliveira
No
now up in the
problems at
13th
all.
position through on Steve Gaori. No real fight, but yeah. Ray Griffith over to Foley. This is for 10th and 11th position. And Griffith has been relatively quicker over the last few laps, so be interesting to see if he does close up enough to get the move done. Gonna have to work for this position though. We've seen Toffoli previously. He's not one to give up spots too easily.
That's certainly right there. Good drive from Griffith tonight. We kind of have seen him. He's always kind of there or thereabouts. But yeah, just often finds himself getting caught up in someone else's drone. But yeah, good drive from him tonight. Currently sitting in 11th position. So I'm sure he'd be hoping to finish inside the top 10.
Interesting thing with this battle though is Griffith about to start his 15th lap on these set of soft tyres. We've seen the guys that, or most of the guys that hit it on their softs early, the most they went was 15. So 15 might be about the limit where the soft tyres are, you know, at their optimum. We're not 100% sure on that, but just from what we're gathering, from what we're visually seeing, that could be the case. But Griffith through.
Yeah, well, if you, yeah, I think you might be right there, James, because well, we saw Cedric Beale. He had pace. He came in on lap 17, came out of the pits, and had lost an incredible amount of time to Buckley during those 2 laps. So, yeah, 15 laps could certainly be. Oh,
That's Buckley. From 3rd position. I was about to say Buckley has got it hovering around that 4-second bracket, but means nothing now. Around he goes at Spoon.
Markin is on the podium. What did I say? I said it.
It wasn't the way you were expecting it to happen, but
No, it wasn't. Not at all.
this is Liam Buckley just taking a slight little bit of curb, ran it over the curb onto the AstroTurf. The rear right said, I don't like this, and around it went. And now Liam Buckley's got to hold on.
It can so easy. That corner happens. It's so difficult to know because you can go through it lap after lap and hit at the same spot. All it takes is that one little bit on the brake for too long and it just unbalances the car and then round you go.
Darren Parker now sitting in 5th, and you can see the next position ahead literally just up the road. And the hyperheated tyres for Liam Buckley, he's going to take maybe a lap or 2 to get them back down to where he would like them to be. Really be able to get this spot. Not long left, only 2.5 laps of racing to go. Liam Buckley, Darren Parker, not done. Has Parker got enough left in the tyre? I'll tell you who doesn't. Ronaldo Augusto. He's decided, no way, I'm done. Give me some more.
That's only got 3 to go. Yeah, I would just try and push it out, but
no.
there we go. We've got a car around.
To Foley around at the exit of the hairpin. And what we caught at the end of that looked like
Yeah.
it may have been a self-spin.
I think he's just run wide there and then jumped on the gas with it too. Have a look. I
He's
love
already
that
run
corner.
wide there.
Yeah, he's under a fair bit of pressure, so just did that, jumped on the gas, and then boom, round she went.
2 laps to go for Matt Wood in his drive from the front. Been keeping it nice and consistent, lapping very, very consistently. Hasn't dropped out of the 31s into the 32s for a long time now. Just quite content pushing at this level that he's at right now. He doesn't want to push too hard. He's not working the car too hard. Happy.
Fantastic drive from him tonight, and yeah, really one that he can be proud of. He's got no camera time, but he's certainly led every single lap of this race, pretty much.
Yeah, the only lap he didn't lead were when Cedric Beale hadn't pitted yet. Gets the white flag. Barney waves the white. Final lap for Matt Wood. Cedric Beale 12.5 seconds back. He's a long way back. And Beale's pace is still reasonable. Saying that lap there, into the 34s for Cedric Beale. So he's got 1 lap to hold on. The gap between he and Martinez, 3.1 seconds.
Yeah,
We need to watch
he
this
can do this.
because Martinez gained 2.5 seconds on that last lap. It's now under 3. Cedric
Here we
Beale's
go,
tyres
this-
are gone.
They're gone. It was that battling that we saw with Parker, with Buckley, sorry, that putting him in trouble now. I still think that Beale can hold on to this one. Martinez is a very good driver, but yeah, if it was 2 laps to go, then I'd say no chance. But 2.5 seconds, not many corners to go. I don't think he can make it up.
I think you're right, but you never know what could happen in these races. I tell you what,
You're right, Jay.
the fact that Martinez can see Cedric Beale now, Cedric Beale will be able to see Martinez in his mirrors. That can change everything.
It can, yep.
And he's
Put the
gained 3
pressure on.
seconds from this point on the previous lap, so
Yeah, well,
half a lap to go. He could still do it, but Matt Wood, no doubting who's going to do it here. Matt Wood picks up the win. Great drive from pole.
fantastic. Bro.
Led every lap until the pit stop. Then he got the lead back after the pit stop phase. Picks up the win. Wins it by around 15 or 16 seconds. Cedric Beale, great drive from him.
Yeah.
P2 holds on
Hats
to a
off to
podium
him.
spot, and Jorge Martinez recovers back to a podium. You said that he was going to be able to do it. Liam Buckley holds on for 4th. He'll be disappointed to throw away a podium, and Darren Parker rounds out the top 5. What a race.
Oh, what a fantastic race. Congratulations to our race winner, Matt Wood, but hats off to Cedric Beale. He's here every single week, and this is the highest position that I've seen him finish in. Oh, Oliveira's gone around.
And lost a spot. Hit the wall.
How did that happen?
Just pushed too
That
hard.
was a
out
bit of
the
a...
Casio triangle.
Yeah, okay, he needs to go to bed.
Bit on the VRS replay here. Just couldn't quite get the move on. Unsettled the car through the last section of the Casio triangle, and then just ran a little bit wide. Had too much power down. Looped it around. Got the power down to try and get the spot from John Pat Kelly, who was going by. And put it in the fence and lost another spot to Steve Giori. So, yeah.
Nearly
lost 2
collected him
spots
on the
and
way
nearly
through.
Connected another one on the way through, yeah.
And then the big burnout to show his disappointment in himself.
Yep,
And
just made
probably
sure he
got a
got it across the
30-second penalty for too many incident points.
a high chance of that happening. So Matt Wood picks up the win in the end by 16.5 seconds. The gap between second and third in the end was only 1.5 at the end. So, as you said, an extra lap may have been all the difference that Martinez needed to get that spot. Liam Buckley finishes 4th, only half a second ahead of Darren Parker. Then Volstrom, great drive from him for 6th position. 7th goes to Velka, and Thomas Knoll, Tamashane, and Ray Griffithon rounding out the top 10. John Pat Kelly in 11th position, he'll be happy with that. But Steve Giori in 12th position. Diogo Oliveira, he'll be disappointed with 13th after making two pit stops in the race to get 3 sets of soft tyres. Getting the strategy wrong in today's race. Klaus Siement's the last driver on the lead lap, finished 14th. Then we've got Augusto, Webb, Horrell all finished the race. Kleber Toffoli DNF'd in the end after his incident. Decided to park the car and not continue on. Kent Nielsen did continue on, though of course he was in an issue at the start of the race to redeem a 19th position. Then DNF Central with Shirakawa 20th, Nurmala 21st, and Christoph Mont only being able to do the one corner in the race. What another fantastic night of racing, and bring on next week. I don't think you know where next week is. But I tell you what, when you see where we're going next week, as my OBS freezes on me, there we go. I'm going to click the right button here. Here we go. This is where we're going next week.
Tell me where we're going next week.
You ready?
Yes, I have looked at the schedule.
We are off to Ballard.
Oh, yes. There we go. They're opposite the Scott Fountain.
That is your fountain right there, the Scott Fountain.
It is, yes.
So we go to the streets of Detroit for the next race, and it will be absolutely fantastic. Of course, you can catch it here on SimSpeed TV as part of the iRacing Grand Prix Series. Monty, thanks for jumping in again tonight. We appreciate it.
Cool shots with you again, mate.
It's been too long. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah, we will.
And Jake's Ferry will be back next week as well. But a big thank you to everyone for watching. Big thank you to all the drivers as well for putting on a great show. And we will see you next week, Streets of Detroit.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got everything outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my god! Oh! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?